So I got injured wrestling, dropped out of college, kind of moved away from that whole idea. And, I was, 19 years old. I didn't really have very many options. It was, either work at my dad's body shop or join the military or be stuck in my hometown doing like the regular 9 to 5. My mom told me when I was like probably 13 or 14 years old that I had a gypsy soul. One day I was going to leave home and I would never look back. And she was completely right. So yeah, I decided to travel around with the carnival at 19 years old. Yep.
Carnie gang.
No,
Yeah.
okay, wait, we have to get into that. Be sure to rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we are now on IMDb. So if you are looking up any film, TV show, you can now look up Are We Having Fun on the Internet Movie Database. Dude, yes! We are legit. We're legit as fuck. So you can actually rate us 10 stars there. Super helpful. That would be so important to Kaehla. Please do it. Please.
To both of us, to everybody listening. It's important to you too, damn it. Just do it.
Just do it. So, Stephanie, we are back for another episode. Okay,
back and better than ever. So yeah, that was weird.
I've been practicing, like I've been doing this voiceover class, and we have to do all these crazy characters. Actually, Parker had to see me in action today, and I had to do like 30 different animals, 30 different crazy faces as I'm reading these like video game scripts. It was weird. I'm still channeling that energy though. So sorry. But we're back with another episode of Are We Having Fun, where we're always having fun, and even when we're not having fun, then we're talking about how we wish we were having fun.
How we could have fun.
And so today we have another guest. I mean, killing it with these guests. This is going to be the first person that I don't know. So that's exciting because I've been bringing on all of my family and my friends for Stephanie to meet.
I needed to sprinkle something of mine in here.
Yeah. And eventually we'll have some strangers, but for now our friends are really cool. So we're going to keep rolling with it. So today we're going to have an episode on sales, and that it might not sound fun, but we make everything fun. We're gonna talk about how much fun we have in sales. Okay, obviously we have this podcast, so we're killing it in the sales game. I'm just kidding. Okay,
all 12 of you listening, killing it.
So today we're going to have Vonz on the show, and I'm going to read a little blurb about him. He is 29 years old and a sales manager at Vivint. So he is on the, I don't know why I want to say ground floor, but he is doing legit hustling, going door to door, making it happen, making sure people are taken care of. He's a former wrestler. He's been traveling the country for almost a decade now. And he was born in or raised in North Carolina. I don't know about born. He can confirm that. But lives in Florida and is currently in Texas. So, we got to get all sides of the country on this show. and
he's literally in the field right now, like in his car recording this.
His car recording. So we're not going to take too long. He, once in a while he really enjoyed our 420 episode. Really,
who didn't? Come on.
Really enjoyed it, but who didn't? And we're just going to get on started. So before we jump on in, Stephanie has a special wine to share with us today. What do you have, Steph?
This is a Pinot Noir. It's called A to Z. It's from Oregon. And It's a little sweeter than I am used to be honest, but it's not bad.
I would say, Pinot Noir is a little sweet for my taste too, but I just I
Well, I
like
like that
my,
they're light, but this one's like kind of sweet. So I don't know, kind of threw
yeah,
me off.
I
But
like dry and heavy. Like I'm just gonna drown myself in wine. Okay,
Jesus,
this
that
got
sounds
dark.
very, yeah.
So anyway, welcome Vonz Hall. How's it going today?
I am doing fantastic. Thank you, ladies, for having me. It's an honor to be here because I'm all about having fun. So
Yay.
yeah, super
Yes.
excited.
Those are the people
So
we love.
those are, yeah, you're perfect for the show because one, yes, we love people that are having fun, but we also just love creative workers. And we've had so many different kinds of people on the show, different fields, different ways of looking at things. What it boils down to is you have to do the work. It's like the first time you make a phone call, you're going to be so scared shitless, like
Yep, I can attest to that.
nothing scarier than making the first phone call. But once you kind of master that, it's almost like a game. It's like an art form. And that's the kind of energy we want to bring and hopefully inspire people. So tell us a little bit about Vivint and how did you get into it?
So I think it was kind of like a godsend how I actually ended up at Vivint. So I started my traveling. So I got injured wrestling, dropped out of college. Kind of moved away from that whole idea. And I was 19 years old. I didn't really have very many options. It was either work at my dad's body shop or join the military or be stuck in my hometown doing like the regular 9 to 5. My mom told me when I was like probably 13 or 14 years old that I had a gypsy soul. One day I was
Yes.
going to leave home and I would never look back. And she was completely right. So yeah, I decided to travel around with the carnival at 19 years old. Yep.
Carney gang.
No,
Yeah.
okay, wait, we have to get into that. Okay. Continue though.
Oh, he's getting into it right now. Just
No.
wait.
Yeah, continue.
So yeah, it was pretty fun. I got to travel, pretty much all corners of the United States. I'd seen over half the country by the time I was about 22 years old. But I had, made a friend in the carnival. I ended up leaving the carnival. It was time to expand my horizon, get into something new. So I got recruited to do sales in Arizona. So actually in Minnesota, I think it's the same law where you can replace your windshield for free and you work directly with the insurance.
I
So
still
yeah,
have Florida insurance, so
Well, they do it in Florida too.
yeah, they do it in Florida.
Because I had a giant crack and I had to do
Dude,
that.
I had a giant crack like 2 months ago, but it was free.
yeah, that was like the whole thing, right? Is we're like, hey, free shit, right? Everyone's all about free. So
Right.
it was pretty cool, kind of getting to experience that. But yeah, it was like kind of weird. The CEO had put in a program where we could get promoted up in the company, and they would help us with a startup fund where we would run our own LLC. And so I was actually going to do that in Jacksonville, and then the hurricane had come through. I think it was like 2017, and excuse me. So basically, what had happened is like the market depleted. People were replacing their cars, not their windshields, because their entire car was
Yeah.
damaged. So they gave me a new title where they promoted me to what was called a national trainer. And so my GM at the time, he was going to Tampa. Tampa was untapped as far as like the market, and people were still getting their windshields replaced. So they had me go with him. So like a few months prior to that, I would see my buddy Roger post Facebook statuses, and it'd always say like hashtag only Vivint, hashtag 6-figure summer. And I was like, my man's smoking crack if he thinks he's going to make 6 figures in 4 months. But yeah, so it was pretty ironic. I ended up moving to Florida within like literally a few days of being there. I bumped into some girl. She had asked how long I'd been doing door to door. At this point, I was roughly about 4 years in. And she had asked me, she was like, had you ever heard of Vivint? I was like, yeah, I have a buddy that works for Vivint. She's like, no way, what's his name? And I'm like, his name's Roger. She's like, Roger what? I'm like, Roger Ryan. Thinking in my head, there's no way she's going to know this fucking guy. Somebody I met in the carnival years ago. She's like, yeah, I know Roger. He's like super tall, wears goofy socks, has like a koi fish tattooed on his leg. I'm like, oh my fucking God, she knows Roger Ryan. So,
sick.
yeah, so like we exchanged numbers or whatever. I told her, I was like, yeah, if I was going to make any change, like I'd hit him up, whatever. 20 minutes later, I get a phone call from a Florida number and I just hear, Vonz, dude, you're in Florida? I'm like, yeah. He's like, yo, he's like, where at? I'm like, I'm in Tampa working like the Carrollwood area. He's like, dude, I'm 20 minutes down the road. Let's hang out. I was like,
nice.
This is crazy, right? So
you're like reunited and
it's like,
it feels so good.
So good.
Yeah, dude, I was kind of lucid for a few minutes. I was like, this is a little trippy. Like, I don't know what's going on.
Happening?
And it could have been some of the fun times that I've had just popping back into my head, but whatever.
That's good too.
Right. But yeah, so it was just like super funny. And then he pretty much begged me to come just check out a meeting. That's all he kept saying. Just come check it out. Just come check it out. It's no pressure. Just come check it out. Like, all right, man, I owe that to you.
I think that's the pitch. That's the Vivint pitch.
Yeah.
Just take a look. It's not a big deal. Just come take a look.
Honestly, that's like every pitch.
Yeah.
Just listen to an episode. Just
no obligation. Yeah. Just come on in. The water's fine.
Taking off the pressure. We get it, man. We get it. But yeah, so needless to say, I went to a meeting in Tampa where I met my current manager, Daniel. After about talking to him for about 45 minutes, I was signing paperwork saying that I was going to start the job. And then the following Tuesday, I quit my other job.
Nice.
Yes. So it was pretty interesting how it all ended up. Ironically enough, and I've actually said this multiple times, Roger keeps getting put in my life in random moments because God's like, this is just the person that we attach you to get you to the next spot in life.
Yes.
That's
so
awesome.
I was like, okay. Yeah,
I love people like that. It's like they're just a little bit ahead of you, and it's not like they're your mentor or anything like that, but it's almost like you're not following in their footsteps, but you keep seeing these parallels.
They just push you to be better.
Yes,
exactly.
And that's what you need. You need people like that.
And that's all it was. It was just the parallels of it. So that was actually really cool that you said that, Kaehla. I like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, ironically enough, he actually doesn't do Vivint anymore. He's streaming video games because that's what he wants to do. You know what I'm saying?
So, it might be. You're on a podcast. You're halfway there right now.
Yeah, I'm it's pretty weird, but yeah. So that's how I ended up with Vivint. Vivint's just an immaculate company. The biggest thing I'd say I have to or enjoy the most about the company. Number one, the people I get to serve every day. Number two, the time off that I have. So my freedom. And then thirdly, I'd have to say is the culture. Literally, I've never had a stronger connection with individuals or even a group of people as strong as I have with Vivint. And so it's just it's untouchable, really. So I genuinely love what I do and genuinely love the people that I get to work with and the people like I said, I get to serve every day. So yeah, that's just a little bit about that.
Wow. Okay. So
awesome.
I have millions of questions. Okay. That's exaggeration. But first of all, we have to go back because you were in the carnival and I didn't know this. Stephanie didn't say anything about this. And not only that,
guess who are the people in the carnival? South Africans.
Of course.
Do your accent. Vonz, do the accent.
Yeah, so it was my second or third day in the carnival. And I didn't know South African people were predominantly white at the time.
Okay. I thought you were going to say crazy because they're all crazy.
Mean girls,
yeah,
man.
I mean,
if you're from Africa, why are you white?
Yeah, so I was 19-year-old redneck basically. I didn't know any better. But yeah, one of the South Africans, rest in peace, Ben, but yeah, he like came up to me. He's like, "Oh wait, no, bro, who called him in yo?" And I was like, "What the fuck did you just say to me, bro?" Like, you want to fight right now? You talking about my mom? What's up, dude? Yeah, so it's "What's up, bro? Who called him in yo?" Is "How are you?" And I was like, "The fuck did you just say to me, dude?" Like,
You're like,
speaking
hands are
gibberish.
being thrown, motherfucker.
He's like, "Oh my fuck, bro, you're not South African." And I was like, "No, but that sounds pretty fucking cool."
You actually
Teach
look
me.
like this South African that I used to know that like they all do like golf clubs and stuff like that too. You know, they're always doing something really random.
That's funny because I love to golf.
Yeah. We all do.
Everything's parallel. Everything in your life is a parallel.
Stephanie's had enough of my recent obsession with golf.
Yeah, actually, she has to get off on the call because she's going to the range. So, in case
No
anybody
shit.
Yeah.
I'm super jealous.
I'm supposed to
I'm going
prioritize
back on the
myself a
doors.
little more. So, but
feel
yeah, that's so funny though that like, dude, it's honestly the best culture. Obviously, my best friend is from South Africa because it's just like the best spirit. You just surround yourself by like, it really is a spirit.
We'll do whatever. Be in the carnival.
Yeah.
Fucking hit golf balls. Whatever you want us to do, we'll
Whatever
do.
Well, we're there. We're
just there for a good time. Okay.
And so what did you do? Like, what was your job? Was it like rides or?
So when I first started, because I was brand new, obviously had no idea. They put me at the top of one of like the funhouse slides where I had to be like, wait, okay, go.
Yeah.
Wait, okay, go. And then I got promoted up to the bottom where I told people to go up.
I thought that was like, and then I finally hit the bottom of the totem pole. No.
No. I leveled up.
Leveled up. Okay.
To the bottom.
There's like a whole episode we need to have on this, like carnival culture.
I'm down.
We always had like fair that would come to the church near our houses, and like every fall, you know, it was like the cool thing to do. Like, oh, what are you doing?
No, it was a carnival. It was like
it was a carnival.
A bunch of Vonzes.
But
it was a bunch of Vonzes there. Yeah,
it's like, what are you doing on a Thursday night? Oh, I'm going to the Fall Fest. Like it was like you're cool. Like so
if you were anybody, you were at the Fall Fest.
Yeah, exactly. You were like dressing. You were dressing how you weren't allowed to dress in school,
or you weren't there.
Yeah, you won a goldfish.
Yeah.
Dude, this is okay.
Sure.
You know what? I'm not going to ask
with Vonz.
I'm not going to ask anymore because you're coming back on the show just to talk about the carnival because that's its own. We got to go back to sales. I'm getting distracted right now. That is a whole other episode. I'm learning that there's just too much to have in one episode, but I'm very intrigued.
So wait, back to sales. Let's ring it in a little bit. So for the people that don't know what Vivint is, what do you guys sell? Like, why are you going door to door?
Yeah, so we actually do home security and automation. We are the #1 dominating space in the alarm and smart home industry, and we're now offering solar. So we're just kind of able to give like the all-around package for home security, day-to-day automation, saving on your electric bill, going green. We're ADT's #1 competitor. So if anybody listening to this right now has ADT, feel free to grab my phone number and we will take care of you.
If anybody needs home security,
or even just to know about it, like, you know,
yeah,
he is your wealth of knowledge to just like tell you like what you should have, you know, price it out, things like that. So you just need somebody like on that side to give you the info.
I mean, this is what the podcast is all about. This is a podcast for the people that are learning how to do life, including us. And so that's why we want to bring on as many different people as possible. Okay, so door-to-door sales is not for everybody. I'm just speaking for myself, but it takes a certain kind of person to have the drive to go out there and make it happen. You're not sitting in front of a computer all day. You're not hiding behind a cubicle. Like you have to get out.
You get told no a lot. So you have to handle that rejection, right?
And
which is more than most people can do.
We respect that because that takes a certain level of guts and like just like personableness. Is that a word? Person.
I think you would just say like
Personality. Yeah. So I want to know, what makes a good salesman versus a bad salesman, in your opinion? Like, what do you do that makes people comfortable to talk to you and vice versa?
So I think the biggest thing, or like probably the most important thing as far as like a door-to-door salesperson specifically, um, is just transparency and not being Johnny Salesman. Like when I'm out there, I'm Vonz. Like I'm not just, the alarm guy. I'm Vonz, the Vivint guy that everyone wants to talk to, everyone wants to hang out with. So I think just making genuine connections is super important. Again, transparency, and then understanding that not necessarily anything's wrong with what they have, but there are ways to get past it. And so like people get security to be proactive. Vivint's idea and the whole innovative concept was to stay proactive. And so you just have to genuinely care about the people that you're interacting with. So my regional manager, he actually says it all the time, and I love it. Sales isn't something you do to somebody; it's something you do for somebody, right? And so if you have that kind of conviction and that belief, no matter how many times you get no, as long as you're just,
I like that.
Yeah, if you're just out there, like the right one's going to fall into your lap. They call it the sales gods blessing you. I believe it's just, God in general, but that's just my personal opinion. So what makes a bad salesperson is the negative Nancy's, right? Or the guys that are, they're sketchy. Like if somebody asks you, like, is it a contract? And you're like, well, yeah, so here's the thing. Like,
oh, they're trying to like beat around the bush.
It
like,
is.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Just be open.
And so
transparency, I like that.
Yeah, and that's honestly, I'd probably say is like the most important thing in my opinion as far as like sales, because obviously door to door gets a bad stigma. Every bunch has a few bad apples. We just don't want it to rot in the whole basket, right?
Right, of course, and that goes for any industry, honestly. Like and that's like why we want to bring on somebody who's passionate about their life in general, and then also about what they do and like how they live their life, because then they're going to be the good personifications of what they do. And I think transparency is definitely like the biggest thing I took away from that. Like that that's how I would feel comfortable too. Like if somebody walked up, they're not like what did you call it, sleazy salesman? I don't know what you said. Sketchy.
Yeah, sketchy.
In sales in general, though, I feel like a lot of different sales companies and industries, like they almost praise you for being sketchy. Like they want the sale no matter what, right? So they're like, do whatever means necessary. But with Vivint, it sounds like they're almost like, do it the right way, because this is the people that you want to have like in your book of business. You don't want to like trick somebody into getting your book of business, because that's not going to last. You want the people and like the relationships to really,
I like how you said the right people are going to come to you, because like that's kind of like how we operate too. It's like, okay, we're not trying to win a popularity contest here. We're trying to get the people that like find value in what we have to say and who we bring
and
on.
Like authenticity.
Versus just trying to like put on I mean, obviously we're putting on a show. This is literally a show, but like we're not.
Welcome to the show.
We're just like, if something doesn't feel right, we're like, okay, let's reevaluate this. How can we make this more authentic? Like, it just like, you're going to attract, even if you are like sketchy, you're going to attract sketchiness, it's just like, that's such a great point that you made. And so
I appreciate that.
So do you have like a region, or is this like you've been traveling all over the place and you can kind of do it wherever, or how does that work?
Yeah, so Vivint's available everywhere. Typically, whenever you call into the company, I'm not going to say talking to the sketchy guy, but you're talking to the guy that gets paid by the hour. So he's just going to upsell the shit out of you if he can, because that's what makes the company more money.
Right.
But like whenever we're out there in the field and like we're grinding out, like we're hustling, like we just out there with like the best offer that we could possibly give the customer. And so like I tell people, like, as soon as I sit down with them inside their house, I'm like, hey, just so you know, time is like the most valuable thing to me. It's more valuable than money because it's how I make my money. So I'm not here to waste your time. I'm not here to waste my time. I'm a best foot forward kind of person. I'm going to give you the best deal I possibly can without me losing a dollar, because I got to work for mine too. And so just having that kind of conviction while you're out there is super important. But yeah, Vivint's available anywhere. It's just, you're going to want to usually talk to the guy that knocks on your door, because he usually has the best offer. And he's actually working for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah.
And those are the people that really deserve it. But yeah, so I'm based out of Tampa. That's where like our division is, which I recently had moved to Orlando before coming to Texas. But what we do is called direct to home summer sales. So essentially, and it's so funny because you guys actually have it on the website, FOMO, fear of missing out, right?
Yeah.
So it's like whenever I leave Orlando or Tampa or Florida in general, and like we come to Texas or go to Kentucky or Virginia or Kansas or wherever we go, right?
Yeah.
We're literally dragging ourselves away from our friends, our family, the people that are having fun at the beach, going to Universal, which is like one of my favorite fucking things to do, because I'm a nerd.
Same.
Us, literally what you did
we
with us when you
literally
stayed
grew
with
up
me.
there.
Yeah. So basically you just take out all the distractions, and for about 4.5 months, 6 days a week, you just go out there and put your all in for like the market that you're in. And like I said, time is like the only thing that I'm short on. Like, houses are being built every day. There's an infinite amount of doors. But the only thing I don't have a lot of is time. Like, I don't know when that clock expires. That's not for me to decide. So whenever we come out to do something like this, we're just making sure that we're actually like making the most of that time, making everything that we possibly can count.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, because it's all on you to make your money. And I like that. Yeah. Like,
grow. Yeah.
You have a job to do when you travel, and then you come back home to Florida, and that's your time to enjoy yourself with your friends and family. Yeah. I like that.
Or switch it, like take the money you made during those 4 months and put it into passive income. You know, there's like infinite ways to do it at that point.
Yeah, so, and that's actually like one of my bigger goals, because I've been talking about it for about 3 years, but like I want to start a food truck and then eventually own a restaurant. So that's kind of like part of like my why this year is like, I dedicated my summer to my manager, which if he knew I was doing this podcast, he'd probably be like, bro, what the hell? You should be in the field, but whatever.
Hey, we're repping Vivint though. This is gonna reach people.
Yeah. I was gonna say we're putting it out there, so we're out here representing. I even got my Vivint shirt on.
I mean, honestly, it's like you know, I see what you do as like, it's like every real estate agent is on social media now, but like you're gonna gravitate towards the ones like you said that are like transparent and like just talking to you like I'm trying to get you the best house that is for you. You know, like you're gonna attract yourself to those people. But I'm like, I could see you going in that direction as well. Like, you never know. Like, your manager could be like, social media is a great way for sales. And then, you know, it's like a cyber door to door.
People
like,
get sales off of posting off Facebook and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Like I've definitely seen people get that.
So that's actually what I was about to say. It's pretty ironic that you brought that up, because part of the deal I do with my customers, so like there's an activation warranty and installation fee. And like we do a trade-off, so that way there's a fair balance and it generates more sales and they're a little bit easier. So one of the biggest things is using like the social media page for like the neighborhood specifically. And like when you have a happy customer or somebody that enjoyed the deal or just you, and you get them to post, people want to talk to you at that point, because people trust their neighbors, not the random guy that showed up to the door.
Right.
So we definitely utilize social media.
I think that might be
it's the way of the world now, you know, like even with my job, even with like insurance, like people get so many binds and quotes and stuff just from saying like, hey, give me 5 minutes, let me show you what I can do.
Yeah. Like, hey, I use Stephanie, like I'm gonna go.
Yeah.
It's like me telling my mom.
Yeah.
Like,
so take us through like a day-to-day, like a day for you. Like, let's say you're like out there on a Monday, like what does your day look like?
Even like, how do you prep your schedule?
Yep. So I've actually been a little lenient on my schedule this year, which thank you for bringing that up because you just reminded me I gotta get that into check. Typically I'm usually up about 7 a.m. I'll typically read something or listen to something that gives me like some kind of positive influence for the day.
Like,
So
are we having
actually,
fun? I'm just kidding.
yes, perfect example. Yeah, so do that. If I'm feeling up to it, I go to the gym. It's not every day, but that's part of the thing I need to get back to actually.
Yeah, don't we all? Except for
Same.
Stephanie. Oh,
I
okay.
got guns. I'm working on it.
She's been working on it.
There's that one place that you go to, Hot Works. There's like one like
Yes, I'm
5
going
minutes
after
down the
this.
road.
I'm going at 9:00.
There we
So
go.
if anybody wants to go with me in the future.
But yeah, so that's typically that, and then usually I'll do like a smoothie for breakfast, so that way I'm not like held down, heavy shit in my stomach, but something refreshing, something that's good for you. Exactly, yeah. And then typically I show up to like the trainings and like the boot camps that we do for like the people that didn't sell. Even if I did sell, I typically will show up because I just want to, watch these guys have the same success that I've had with it. And I truly believe that knowledge is power. And I feel like I got a big ass head and there's a lot of knowledge in there. So I just like to share it as much as I can. So yeah,
At least you're
we'll do
honest.
the boot camp. Yeah. I got to wear my snapback on the tube. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, so do that for about an hour. Then we do about a 30-minute interval. Our team specifically, we have probably one of the best cultures in the entire division. That's something that my manager's really good at. So like we have cornhole games, dartboards. Today we did flip cup.
Let's go. Let's go right now.
Any game, anytime.
I'm on a cornhole league right now. Let's go. 2-0.
Yeah, so I'm all about it. So like, and that's like super fun. And then like, we'll typically do like, I don't know if you guys are familiar with the game Knockout, basketball.
Like basketball? Yeah.
Cool. So like, we'll typically get a game of like Knockout in before we start like our normal meeting. Then we go over what's called housekeeping, which is like if we just have anything that we need to share with the reps. And then go over the office standards. What's rule number 1? So you start the day with company culture and then you say, all right, let's get into it. Like that's how you warm up for the day, like a team bonding experience, but it's like having that like that's so cool. Shit, hanging out, yeah.
Dude, we're gonna input that.
With what, you and me?
Yeah. We're gonna play.
We're in 2 separate states. How is that gonna?
We used to play
Country Power Hour.
We used to,
Vonz would know this. Country Power Hour was our thing, so we get to.
Country Power Hour.
Yes, we loved it. Wait, did you do Country Power Hour with them?
No, but I've heard about it.
Okay.
He's a country boy. If anything, that's his jam.
Yeah. Well, we all have a little bit of that in us from Florida.
Right, yeah. I was gonna say, literally being from Florida,
our team
Florida
bonding is
man's a
literally
thing.
this podcast.
Yeah, seriously. We were playing so we did Country Power Hour during COVID, but we also bonded over beer pong or we tried Zoom beer pong tournaments. It's very hard.
Anything to make it work.
Pretty fun, but difficult.
Yeah. Especially when you're actually drunk.
We're both pretty good at cornhole, so that's our. I think that's our game.
Honestly,
when we went to that bar and we played it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, we love games.
You're talking about y'all.
Yeah. We went to a bar and
whenever we kicked ass.
Oh, us too. Yeah, cornhole all around, dude.
Let's go.
That's the jam.
This is a cornhole podcast now. No.
It's like frick the sales. Let's talk about cornhole. And
let's just talk about winning. No, I'm just kidding.
Really?
No. So, but yeah, no. Honestly, we talk about whatever on this podcast.
I'm in.
But as far as like day to day, right? That's what we were talking about. So like you so you have your like basically like warm up meetings or whatever, and then you break
Yeah,
off.
and then yeah, so we typically will go through the sales. So what we do is we have like a big old board with everyone's name on it. We start from the bottom and work our way to the top rep, which usually is like for the month, like whoever has the most sales, and then it goes in order. But yeah, so like if you did not sell the day before, so like we call your name, Kaehla, how'd you do? If you didn't sell, you would say today. So basically you're just like verbally agreeing to hold yourself accountable, to go out there and, make it happen, get it done. And then we celebrate the people that do sell, chant their name, high fives, the typical sales thing. While we're playing, like, yeah, throwing people
I've
in the
seen
air
videos.
whenever.
Like people are just like diving, like mosh pits.
Yeah, so
that's
if
what
you,
the snapback backwards thing.
I definitely take the hat off every time I get tossed in the air because someone always tries to fuck with me and grab it. So yep. So we'll like chant, high five, yep, and then we like kind of set the standard for the day. Hey, let's do 20 today. Let's do 25 today, whatever the case is. Everybody agree? Yes. And then we do a little cheer and we get out there. I'm typically the cheermeister for Saturdays because it's the biggest day of the week. And I got the loudest rumble in my voice when I get vocal. So we get everybody fired up, and then we ride out in groups, 3 to 4 people in a car. So that way you're able to
okay.
Yeah. So typically like the vets and the managers, they'll drive out like a group of like, again, 3 or 4 people. And then on the way to the neighborhood, like if they have questions that, wasn't like the topic of the day, for like the boot camp, they're able to like pick our brains, see what's working for us, see if they can implement something that's going to improve their sales process. And then we drop off the guys. We get out in the field. Typically around 1:30, 2 o'clock, we're out in the field. And then Texas is what we call a late market.
So I actually had a like a clarification question. So like you get 3 people or 4 people in your car, and then do you just like pick a neighborhood and you all get out and like go in different directions?
No, so we have an office administrator, and she we have like a certain boundary of like Houston, like the southern part of Houston specifically, for our team. And then we have the certain areas that we know are good, what's like new development, all that. And we'll typically draw out a neighborhood of about, I'd say roughly 200 to 400 houses, depending on the rep. So like somebody like myself, you give me 200 houses, I can be there for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, a month sometimes, as opposed to like a brand new rookie, he needs 400 houses and he's done by Saturday because he's still figuring it out. But yeah, so like we have our designated areas that we're assigned to. We drop them off typically within like a 5 to 10 minute radius of like the driver. And then, so like I said, we're out there till about 1:32. And then we stay in the field. The rule is dark plus 3 more doors, meaning as soon as it's pitch black dark, I just got to knock 3 more doors. I typically like to get 3 full interactions if I can. So that way I can like set up appointments for the next day if it is too late. But like the further we get into summer, we do competitions within the company where we're going like head to head against other teams in other markets. So we win like super crazy cool incentives. So like I have a duffel bag full of t-shirts that's from Vivint. I've bought 1 pair of shoes in the last 3 years because they keep giving me shoes. We win like segways, shades. Memorial Day's coming up, so like they'll do crazy incentives for Memorial Day where you can win like an inflatable hot tub and stuff like that. And everything's Vivint branded.
And then you get a trip, right? The big thing is like a trip at the end of the year.
Yeah, so the biggest thing is definitely the trip. So if you hit it like a certain amount of sales, or what we call RMR, which is just like a total of like your customers for the summer, Vivint pays for you to go to a trip. This year, the trip is to Costa Rica.
Nice. Stephanie
Nice.
knows all about that one.
Oh
Yeah, so
yeah.
they like pay for us, like it's all inclusive. If you hit like one tier, they cover the like the like the actual trip. You just cover the plane ticket.
Mm-hmm.
If you hit the second tier, they cover the ticket and the trip. If you hit the third tier, they cover the trip, the ticket, and then a trip for like a friend or a guest or whatever. And then you
Nice.
just cover their flight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's sick.
And
Heck yeah.
so really, really quick, I did want to touch on this. One
Mhm.
of my favorite things about what we do whenever we actually do these trips, right before we do that, we typically do what's called a charity trip, where Vivint will take the reps to like a certain part. So like we'll go to like a part of Costa Rica or Cancun, I can't remember which one it was, where we'll actually like help build schools and for like, you know, the poor areas and stuff like that. And then we have what's called donation day. So
Mhm.
you're basically able to donate an account where you get paid part of the commission, but Vivint keeps part of it, and then they give it to like Autism Speaks. Again, like the programs where like they send people out to like these low income areas that, you know, nobody's really doing anything for. So Vivint doesn't just like isn't just focused on serving while we're out there selling. Like their whole general perspective is to continue to serve. And as the
Mhm.
company continues to grow, they just continue to give more and more. And it's like I said, it's just untouchable. It's a really
Yeah.
beautiful thing that they do.
There's so much more to it than just like the actual job. That's like the
Yeah.
culture above everything is like what stands out to me. Like starting the day with cornhole, I'm still on that. and then you do a good
It's gotta
job.
be a good day if you started
Yeah.
with cornhole.
I literally came to town for like a family event or something like that. It was like a few days I was in town and I'm like, oh, I'm free one day. Let me just work because my mom will be working. My siblings will be in school. I might as well do something. And I was staying with Stephanie anyway. So I got this job where we all met at UCF. It was hysterical. Okay. I'm not even going to say the brand because I don't want to make like them look bad or anything like that. But basically, did you go to school in Orlando?
No, North Carolina.
No. Okay. So like in our college, and obviously every college kind of has this, but there's like a certain section where people set up tents and they like
Yeah.
flyer and stuff like that.
We do that
But
for recruiting. So
yeah, but there's only one day a week you're like allowed to bring outsiders or something like that. So supposedly they got the okay, like the brand or whatever, the marketing company got the okay. We're hired like as a 1099 contract. You know, we're not even like really anything to do with the brand. We're just representing them for the day. So we get there and first of all, we start setting up the stuff, right? And then somebody says like an hour or two in, like who allowed you to be here? Because I'm with the student union and I didn't give you the okay, like basically. And then on top of that, there was another group. So it was like two marketing companies had been used for the same brand. So people were showing up like, hey, I'm with your brand, but they were hired as like campus ambassadors or like volunteering or something weird. And they were doing a completely different set of like koozies and stuff, you know?
right.
So they had no idea what they were doing. And they were coming to us for like basically training of what their shift was composed of because they had no idea what they were doing. So like that company was making the brand look bad. And then on top of that,
Right.
like supposedly we got the okay, but then they were like, we don't care. It's not like a Wednesday or whatever day is the market day. So we had to leave. So we go into this neighborhood literally next to Stephanie's and we're going door to door, but we all get out of the same car. We have full boxes in the trunk of this truck, in the bed of this truck. And we're just like taking stuff out of the boxes, trying to see how many houses we could hit, and then like moving on or walking back to the car to reload. And it was just like the craziest experience because it's like you never know what's going to happen. Like but somebody's got to do those jobs, you know. You might be
Right.
told no by the people that allowed you to be there, you know. It's like you never know what's going to happen. But you just have to keep going. And then like, you know, I'm texting Stephanie like, hey, I'm literally like half a mile away from you. Oh, okay, wait, now I'm 2 miles away from you. So okay, now we're going back to UCF. So it was like a whole thing where I was like circling around his house,
are
but
you
I never passed
okay?
it.
Are you kidnapped?
Yeah.
I see you're in a car. Are
Do you need help?
She's like watching
Blink
my
once
location
if you
move
need.
around. Oh, but it's you know, it's just honestly, like I said, you got to make it a game. It's like it's fun. It's like the whole
Yes.
thing where you're hyping each other up, you know. It's like you're there to do a job and you're going to have fun doing it. Like that's just our number one priority.
I don't know if this is like a job that people necessarily do to like retire. You know what I'm saying? Like they won't do this in their 40s. So this is kind of like a job where it's like a stepping stone, right? Like you make the money you want to make and then you can pursue your other interests or do what you want and just kind of like grow from there.
Yes.
Is that kind of the vibe I'm getting?
Yeah, absolutely. So that's actually one thing like really, really appreciate about like door-to-door sales, because number one, it thickens your skin, right? So like no
Right.
matter what you do, there's always going to be failing moments, but those failing moments are learning moments as well. So if you can have a takeaway um, from like the day-to-day, the ins and outs, the behind the scenes, everything that just goes into it, if you can say something small every day, it's just going to help you develop into like a better version of yourself. And kind of like you had said, get to your true interests. Like I definitely have worked side by side with dudes that were like 50 years old. And like they were still out there going door to door. And I'm like, yeah, bro, not me. like I said, eventually
The
I want to own
grind.
a restaurant. Yeah. So like the whole idea for me, like I've definitely treated the job as my career because that's how invested I am into it. I just know at some point it's going to catch up to me and I am going to want to step away from the doors. And then, so investing, property management, you know, things of that nature,
Same.
stock market. Yeah. And then again, my passion is going to be just food, like owning a restaurant and like being able to provide a good service, good quality, take care of the employees, things of that nature. Like I want to be somebody that pays my waiters minimum wage, not $3 and then you just make tips. Like, no, I don't want to do that.
You mean like minimum regular like retail or whatever minimum wage versus servers minimum wage?
Correct. Yes.
Like barely anything.
Yeah. And so like I've seen it in and out. Like I have a lot of friends that work in like the food industry and like I see how much like they, you know, they kill it with tips, but like that only goes so far, especially when you're busting your ass as hard as you are. And like, and that's kind of why I want to do that because like
me last night, dude.
Yeah, and like that's a perfect example. Like I've seen Stephanie like hustle her ass off. But like, you know,
dude, I left at 3 a.m. last night. Shit was
yeah.
We're getting her out of there. We're getting her out of there.
I made money though, but still.
Dude, no.
And that's the thing, right?
My biggest goal in life is to make the highest dollar amount per
with the
hour
least amount of work,
the least amount of hours.
Of course, that's everybody's goal. Passive income. I want to make money when I sleep.
I figured it out. What I want to do in person, I'm doing right now. And it might be for a different brand. It might be for a different company. Like, you know, every month might change, but like, I know that what I do, I've maxed out my efficiency. And we're going to have the conversation about what happens when you realize that when you're working for somebody else and they don't maximize efficiency or company culture, how things can fall apart pretty easily. That's definitely a conversation for another episode. Dude, so many other episodes. But yeah, we are kind of hitting our time. So thank you so much for telling us. Like, dude, there's so much more to your job than I could ever have imagined. It's more than just like, it's like, you know, when you have your candy bars when you're a kid and you got to go fundraise. So you go knock on all the neighbors' doors. Like it's so much more than that. Like,
Yeah, it really
I don't know what other people's ideas of door-to-door salesmen are, but hopefully we gave some insight to people. And, you know, whether it's like something you're interested in doing, whether it's for the culture or whether it's for the money aspects, like Vonz is the guy to talk to, kind of just explore something new. Like, you can always take a chance and maybe it's not for
Super
you, and that's
knowledgeable,
totally
too.
fine. But like, I like what you said too, Stephanie. You're like, so is this something kind of like you take it and you run with it for, you know, X amount of time, and then you move on to your life
Your calling.
dream, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, your
This
calling.
is your calling for
And-
now, but maybe it's like
and-
that changes, you know?
Yeah. And I
100%.
like how though you responded and said that I treat this as my career right now, because it's like, if you're not totally in it, even if you're like, I'm just doing this so that I can move on to something else, then in your mind, you're just like,
You're
I
not
don't
going
give
to
a
try
shit
as
about
hard.
this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
You want to
But
still
But I like how
be
you
present.
you're like, this is my career. I'm going to make the most of it. I'm gonna, like, you're the cheermeister. Like, that's lit as fuck, you know? We love a good hype man on this podcast because we are natural hype men. So like like, you know, you got to get excited about things. And if you're not excited about it, then, you know, find something you're excited about.
Exactly.
Like, that is like another great takeaway from this episode. Okay.
And for anybody that wants to either get, you know, a security system for their own home, or they're interested in a job opportunity, Vonz, do you want to drop your info so they can reach out to you?
Yeah, no worries. So I would prefer that you guys reach out directly via cell phone. If you guys want to check out my Instagram and like Facebook, that's fine. Like, I have a ton of posts and like some videos actually that kind of show you the culture. Like, for example, like we did the home opener, which is where we like the CEOs and like the corporate guys, they come into town and like they tell us about the new shit we're about to be able to do for customers. So this past year, they actually rented out the Raymond James Buccaneer Stadium for
The whole stadium?
Damn.
the whole thing.
Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
huge.
So what's your
So they,
Instagram? What's your Instagram handle so they could check that out?
Yeah, so it's Vonzinomics. Here, let me because I forgot how I
Like,
spelled it.
how do you say it? Like the Fonz, but with a V.
Yeah,
Vonz.
so
Yes.
yeah, the Fonz just with a V. It's V as in Victor, ONZ _ enomics, N as in November, M as in Mike, ICS.
Perfect. And what's the phone number they can reach you at?
Yep. So my direct cell is 281-902-8726. Please do not send my information to spammers, because I will find you and I will hunt you
Yeah,
down.
no, we don't.
Liam Neeson
No,
is in the
yeah,
building.
get that stuff out.
I
Get
will
that
find
stuff
you.
out of our lives.
But seriously, guys, I know a bunch of people that have given Vivint a try. Even if it's not for you, you never know until you try, you know?
You're either thinking of buying a home, or you just bought a home, or you're gonna be buying
Or
a
you
home
have a
if you're
brand new
listening to
baby you're
this.
trying to protect. Lots of things.
Yeah,
Lots of things
lots
going
of
on.
things. Or a baby dog. You gotta, you gotta keep
Or just
everybody on lock
yourself. No
here.
shame in that.
Or even the solar thing. I mean, that's honestly like one of the
Hey,
big things.
I'm the information guy. If you guys
Yeah.
reach out, I'll make it make sense for you. If you move forward with it, cool. If not, no big deal. I'm just the information guy.
Boom.
Yeah, exactly. So
Awesome.
thank you so much for being on the show, and we will have you again to talk about this carnival
About carnival
experience, because
stuff.
I'm not over it. I'm not over it.
I can tell you've been stuck on it.
Yeah, like, I want to be like, put me in, coach. No, I'm kidding.
I got you.
So anyway, catch you on the next episode of Are We Having Fun? Are we having fun, Vonz?
Dude, I had an absolute blast. You guys
Oh,
are
yeah.
amazing. Thank you so much for having me. It was
Thank
awesome.
you.
Thank you so much. We so appreciate you. And we'll catch you guys next time.